Are you a parent wondering if you're doing right by your kids?
A therapist seeking real-world applications for working with children and their families?
A teacher trying to navigate educating the whole child in today's world?
Then this is the podcast for you.
Are you a parent wondering if you're doing right by your kids?
A therapist seeking real-world applications for working with children and their families?
A teacher trying to navigate educating the whole child in today's world?
Then this is the podcast for you.
Hey guys, it's Brigid
And Jenna.
the teacher.
And the therapist.
Hey, hey, hey.
We are back.
Woo.
Episode 16.
16.
Today's going to kind of go off of last time, not last week, 2 weeks ago, with like the travel tips. These are tips for the holidays.
Holiday season with the hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock. And don't forget to hang up your sock.
Just exactly at 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
So yeah, we celebrate Christmas, the two of us. But
Sure
Christmas,
do.
Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa actually all fall like at the same time this year.
Okay.
The first night of Hanukkah is also the 25th. Kwanzaa is the 26th, I believe. So yeah, Hanukkah is like Christmas through New Year's, basically. So
That's fun.
I know, isn't that fun? It's late this year. Normally, do you remember the one year that it was maybe, I don't know how many Jewish people are in your life, but it was Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So it was like, they called it Thanksgiving-ka or something like that because it was both.
that's funny.
Yeah, but that also means that kids will likely be out of school for about 2 weeks, regardless of what kind of school they attend, like
Yeah.
a Jewish school or a, private, public, whatever. So let's talk about how we survive the holidays.
Yes. Yes. Tip number 1
Mm-hmm.
is going to be take all of your expectations and throw them out the window.
That was a window crashing.
Yes.
Yeah. The best laid plans, right?
Right?
Mhm.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah, just forget about it.
So whether your kids are 2 or 32, if you're the big kid that's going home for Christmas or for the holidays, things are not going to go how you planned them.
Yeah, it never is. And it never.
Be
And
as
that's okay.
flexible as you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a high stress time. I was just reading in an article today that it's like, the best time of the year. It's also like research shows it's the most stressful, which
Yes.
did we need research to show us
Right.
that?
I think we knew.
Also, again, I'm not a parent, nor do I ever pretend to be, but for parents, you're buying gifts, you're cooking, hosting, traveling, kids are home.
Yes.
You might still be working.
Yeah.
And so then you got to figure out childcare, or do you work from home, or what do you do? So it's a lot.
I feel like I've heard statistics where it's like the highest levels of depression or filter word here attempts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be curious to see if it's similar statistics for heart attacks and stuff like that.
You mean around the holidays?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've
Yeah.
not heard that. I've not heard that.
I think it's just because it's
It's a stressful time.
people feel lonely
It's the end
and
of the year.
financial. Yeah, all the things.
It's the end of the year, so finances can be a big thing. But for sure, if you're
Yes.
grieving, then that can lead to a lot of problems around the holidays. Trauma, I work with a lot of grief and trauma, and those two it's often not the best time of the year.
Right. Yeah.
They're missing somebody, or with trauma, they might be around people, family, extended family members that they're not comfortable around. Yep. Not everybody may know that, in the family around them, that
this person and I do not really get along.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Or that there's something that, something traumatic that had happened. So yeah, I don't find that surprising at all.
Yeah.
That there's worse mental health statistics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's winter, so seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
Winter, at least if you're in Ohio, if you're in the northern hemisphere.
Wait, shout out to our listeners in Australia.
Yeah.
It's summer for you.
It's summer. You're loving it.
Yeah.
Living
Kids
it
are
up.
just getting out of school for the summer.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Oh, so per usual,
Uh-huh.
we're going to break it down, ages and stages. As always, please remember the message from our lawyers.
Yeah.
That says that this is not a hard and fast rule. Your family might be different. Your children might be
Totally
different.
fine.
That is A-okay.
We're cool with it.
We love them anyway.
We do.
All right, let's
Love
do
our
it.
Kids. Teeny tiny babies.
What
What do you do with teeny tiny babies at the holidays?
Okay, so first of all, your first decision is going to be, are we doing it this
What
year?
are you doing with teeny tiny babies at the holidays? Yes.
We
Sure.
had, and everyone has different opinions on this.
Mm-hmm.
We had our boys at the beginning of November, and so
Right.
we had Thanksgiving and Christmas
Coming up.
pretty
shortly.
immediately after.
Yeah.
And for us, we were, technically this was shortly pre-COVID, but we were taking the kids to all the things.
We were?
Yes.
Mhm.
We went to the family Christmas and we did all the things. And honestly, for me, I was like, take my babies and pass them around and I will sit on the couch.
Yeah. I'm
So
happy to do that.
For me,
I
it was
needed the break.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Some people are not about
Don't want to
that.
do that, especially
It's
post
flu season and
flu season, cold
RSV season
Yeah.
and all the things.
Mhm.
So make a decision, you
Mhm.
know, for your family, for your immediate
family.
lives in your household family.
your children.
Yes. If you're usually the host and you got to take a year off, take a year off.
Mm-hmm.
If you're usually traveling and you can't this year, don't.
Yeah,
if you're usually cooking.
But Brigid, the family, they'll be so upset
guess what?
with you.
They might understand or they might not.
Might not.
I don't care. Because it's not about
blame us. Tell us.
Tell
them. Brigid said.
Tell them Brigid said I don't have to go because you don't. Because if it's going to create too much stress in your life,
sure.
It's a perfectly fine boundary to hold to say, we're taking it off this year. We're just doing our family.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, germs is always a great excuse for that.
Yeah.
There's too many germs. It's cold and flu season. There's that pneumonia that's going around out there right now. Like whatever. Just say no.
All kinds of things.
We're not doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We oddly have a lot of like November, December babies now too. So
what if you are going to go, make sure you are prepared with your expectations. Am I passing the baby around? Can other people hold the baby?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, can grandma kiss all over the baby, etc.
Right.
Most of the time we're going to say, no, we're not kissing babies. But sometimes our older generation needs it spelled out for them.
Yeah.
Yes, you can hold them, but please keep your face away.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can hold them, but you have to wear a mask. Whatever your requirements
both
are.
of my nephews were born post-COVID and in the winter.
Yeah.
And so both of them, the rule for the first month, because it's very dangerous for a child to get a fever in the first month, and you got to do all kinds of testing, and that's not fun for the baby or the parents. So the rule was everybody except for mom and dad wore a mask for the first month, which was that's fair.
You do it if you want to hold the baby. And if you don't want to do it, don't hold the baby. It's not a big deal either way. That baby is going to be fine if you don't hold them. So, but just having that and clearly communicating it early on.
I think that's good too. And obviously it depends on the relationship with the person, but if it's hey, we're going to grandma's house, or who are we celebrating with, or who would this best come from? Do I need to text my mom and say, hey, we're not passing the baby around, and then she could tell grandma because that's easier,
right? Or
better, grandma would be more receptive, or hey, I go to my in-laws, then that maybe should come from my spouse,
right?
If we're trying to communicate with the in-laws, so trying to figure out, and just setting that expectation right off the bat, so nobody's wondering, nobody, you're not answering it 700 times.
I do remember the Christmas that we went to when my kids were not even 2 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle was holding one of them and kissed him somewhere on the head or the face or something. And I didn't even respond, but my cousin immediately was like, Dad, you can't kiss someone else's baby. And my uncle was, he didn't, he wasn't thinking. He was like, it's a baby and they're cute and I'm going to kiss them. But I didn't even have to say anything. My cousin was all over that. She was like, you cannot do that. So maybe if it's yes, she's a nurse and so she understands.
She gets it. Yeah.
But it was funny to me. But maybe there is someone if it is going to be an uncle or someone else who can communicate that to
his child or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what am I going to do? Yell at my uncle? No.
Yeah. Also, it's been done. He kissed it.
At that point, it's already happened. So,
but also, so it's okay to take time off or take the year off from visiting, hosting. But if you're not and you're going to go anyway, finding out / preparing for the place to be like childproof, naps. Like, is the kid going to nap there? Are you spending the night? Are you spending Christmas Eve somewhere else? Something like that. So sleep sacks, blankets, you know, pack and play if there's no crib or anything there. Do you need white noise machine? Like what
noise machine? Don't leave home without
baby lotion. Like whatever you do, your nighttime routine is probably keeping the teeny tiny babies, especially, but really most of our kids, most of ourselves, keeping on the same routine is helpful.
Yes.
So if you can just do that, like, yeah, it's a different bathtub, but you still have your little Johnson & Johnson shampoo and lavender lotion, then let's do that.
Yeah, whatever you can do to keep their routine as familiar as possible. Although I will say with those little ones, it's not always as vital when they're
really tiny,
the very youngins.
But once we get in your arms,
once we get up to our toddlers,
yeah,
this is where we start to see troubles.
Tots.
Yes,
not
tots. So same rules apply to our toddlers, but yeah, this is when we're going to see more need for possibly baby-proofing houses that we're going to.
Plugs.
I mean, if you're going to grandma's house for an extended weekend, you're not going to want to be chasing baby around the entire time.
Yeah, for mobile.
Bring a baby gate with you. Bring a plug with you.
And or asking like, hey, can your very, sentimental and important fragile vase not be, floor level this weekend? That would be appreciated.
Because I don't want the stuff always is.
Yeah, and you don't want it to be
so stressful.
I was listening to another podcast, and she's a mom, and she was like, I never realized how many things were made of glass until I had a kid. And then I go to someone's house, and like glass is everywhere.
The most stressful part of taking your children to someone else's house is just like, what are they going to break?
To get into, yeah.
Yes.
Which, sure, you don't want the kid to get hurt. You don't want other people to get hurt. And you don't want like this prized possession, this family heirloom to be broken.
Oh my gosh. And so then you're like picking up their vase or whatever it is. Like, why do we have our urn on the mantle or on the fireplace thing? And like,
the mantle would be better.
Not
a toddler.
Like, can it not be sitting on the step? Like, what are we doing?
Would be great. So
yeah, just
if you could get help from the host, that would be great.
And typically, if it's going to be a grandma and grandpa, they are probably going to want to do that.
They're going to want to know.
Yeah.
Or they're going to know, or are you be prepared? And honestly, like as somebody, like I'm not like offended when often parents will pick up a glass dish and move it, even if the kids are older and they climb into the chair. So it's not like low, but it's on the table. Or and then they move it, or they move the candy. Like that doesn't offend me as like the house that hosts. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
We'd rather it not be thrown on the ground.
Right.
And I don't want them hurt.
Yeah. And so like if you are traveling with those toddlers, this is when their schedules are going to be more important, probably. Yeah. Those nap schedules, the bedtime schedules. If you need to come late, if you need to leave early, do it. Again, I'm giving you permission. You can blame it on me.
And try to figure it out. Like, is it going to be better to do that? To like, okay, we're just going to leave Christmas dinner a little bit early? Or is it like, okay, like we'll spend the night? Like what's going to work better for you so that we're not driving late, or we can put the kid down and do whatever. So,
or again, this is not the most environmentally friendly advice, but if drive two separate cars, if you know one of you is going to want to stay and the other one needs to get home to put the kids to bed or whatever, do it. Whatever you need to do that works for your family.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like the theme, I think.
Yes.
Okay. And moving on up into our preschool years.
Listen, they're going to be crazy.
And they're going to be home.
So
they're going to be home full time.
Be prepared.
Full time.
They're going to be off the chain.
Brigid speaks from experience.
Yeah, they get crazy. So give them things to do.
Yeah.
Give them many things to do. Give them a place to
get rid of
be crazy. Yes, because in the winter we see this a lot where inside they can't move around as much, but they still have the same needs. And so we need to make sure that we're plating for that. Outside play is still okay.
Yeah, bundle them up.
Bundle them up. Yes. You can still get outside when it's cold. Wrap them up in all the things and send them out for 20 minutes, whatever. Yeah.
And I know some people that will like bring outside toys in if they have like a large area. If they have a basement or something, they'll bring in
like the little climber, the slide,
or like a little slide. or something that I've done when it's not too cold. I had it on my radar today with my cousin, is like it was raining, but like you needed a coat and he had a hat on and whatnot. But like I was like, we could play in the garage,
Oh, yeah.
And so you could still push the trucks around, and it's just like a little bit more space. You can go out and.
So I was getting ready to come over here and I was putting my boots on. And Jay said, Mommy, while you're out, can you jump in some rain puddles for us?
Oh, sweet Jay. He's a sweetie. Did you do that for him?
Not yet.
Oh,
on the way home,
I guess. On the way home,
stop and jump.
You'll get wet and then go in and get cozy.
Yes.
Also with preschool, really toddlers, but preschool on up, like get them involved. Get them decorating. Perfectionism. We don't need. Like it doesn't need to be perfect.
You don't need to micromanage.
You can cook, bake. If the cutouts have a glob of red icing in the middle and nothing on the end, whatever. It's that can be theirs to eat. Memories, Yeah, it might very well be the tree has ornaments 3 feet high and under.
Listen, when my kids were toddlers, I had a 4-foot tall Christmas tree that sat on the floor, and they could decorate that one. Yep. And then I could have my tree that was mine, and I got to decorate how I liked.
There you go.
Now
or put one in their room or do whatever.
We have so many Christmas trees. We have one in their bedroom, one in the playroom, one in the living room. Yep, actually one in both playrooms.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but you got 2 rooms.
We really like Christmas trees.
We're gonna have one in the dining room, one in the family room, one in my bedroom, one in my parents' bedroom, and then we have like a little felt one for the kids. Like
those are fun.
So
like on the wall.
Yeah,
love it.
No, it stands up. But
interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
At this age, you might start being able to be more flexible too. They might be able to skip a nap. They might be able to stay up a smidge late,
a little bit late on Christmas or something.
But just you know your kids best, of course.
Yeah.
And if they do still need to stick to that routine, do it. But
they might just need like some, even if they're skipping naps or they don't nap anymore at all ever. It's like they might need that. Like downtime. It can be very overstimulating. There's a lot of sugar. They're out of their routine. They might be in a different place. There's a lot of people and noise. So they might need to we're going to go outside for a little bit, or we're going to, take a break.
Yeah. Ask the host is there a room we can go in for a few minutes of quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Last year for Thanksgiving and this past year that just happened, that actually as of right now has not happened yet. But it will have happened by the time this comes out. My cousins or my brother is in town with my kids' cousins. So there's 5 boys, 10 and under. And it is a madhouse.
Yeah, that's right. There's no girls.
It's so fun, but it's chaos. And it's running and screaming and cars flying and wrestling and all the things. And so, they need a minute to just
decompress,
be quiet for a minute for they need it too. And the rest of us do. But also they need it too.
So. Yeah. And that goes right on up into our school age. You were just saying 10 and under. So
Yep. School agers.
So again, they're going to be home. What are some activities that we can get them involved in? Definitely. I mean, I know we talked about this with Halloween too, doing all the trunk or treats and stuff, but see if there's things in the community. I know recently we just had Light Up Downtown Canton. That's something that families go out to, and there's a big Christmas tree and food and all kinds of things. Carols, I think they had. If there's different outdoor events and things, or I've seen a bunch of those Christmas markets. So take the kids, even if it's a Saturday morning, get them doing things at home too.
All the things.
Yeah. Homemade ornaments, homemade gifts. I know because I'm a recipient, or I have been in the past, a recipient of homemade gifts. So I know your kids do those.
My kids do for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if our listeners, if you follow us on Instagram, we posted a story of some homemade ornaments we made a couple of last week, maybe, where you melt crayons in an ornament.
Ooh, those are fun. You can find so many ideas by Googling.
Pinterest.
It's out there. You can find it for sure.
Yep.
All right. What's next? I'm wondering what this fun thing that you're doing with books is.
Yeah, that could be school age. That could even be younger. I'm doing it for my nephews this year. I saw it. It's a secret. But they'll know by the time that this comes out.
Okay, perfect.
It's a surprise. We don't keep secrets. We keep surprises. But I saw this on the internet somewhere where you wrap up all your Christmas books individually, each book, and you have them like in a basket under the Christmas tree. And then like every day, which they're not here every day, my nephews, but if you could do it, like if you have 20 books or 25 books in your house, it doesn't even have to be Christmas, really.
Yeah.
Any books, you wrap them up and then they can like open one. So if
one
you do
book a night,
if they can do like a bedtime story or something, then they get to do that. And then it's just something new to them. It's kind of like the excitement of like they get to unwrap a present early, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And like they're new every year if you put them away.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like
so
we
you're
don't
saying
keep
you don't
them
have to buy the new books every year. It's just a Christmas
we put them away.
Okay.
We keep them like with our Christmas decorations.
Yes, we do too.
So, and because Brigid always forgets, I added our teens and young adults.
I was at my other job when I was doing this. I mean, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't, to my boss who listens to this. I would never podcast it.
Also, I love how you said at your other job as if this is our job.
Oh. This was my third job that we don't get paid for and we just do for fun.
But similar to what we said with the traveling, like have the expectation with your teenagers that they're gonna want to spend time with friends over Christmas break. They're probably gonna have, and I even before I was a teenager, even in like middle school age, I had like basketball games, like we had like activities during those 2 weeks. This might be the time that they want to be starting to like go, I want to go to Christmas Eve at my girlfriend's house and so have the expectation in your mind that might come up, and B, set your own expectations of like, is there some flexibility? Hey, we don't really do anything as a family on Christmas Eve. And if your boyfriend has a party at his, whatever, like their extended family comes over and that's when they do their Christmas. Okay, that's fine. And then, you need to be back by this time or whatever the expectation is because we do Christmas morning, or the answer might be no. We don't want you driving late at night. Or that conflicts with our family event.
Yeah, and depending on the age of the teen, I mean, if we're talking your college age kids who are coming home,
they're going to want to see people.
You're not going to have as much of that.
Yeah.
But you can still set those expectations like, yes, I realize you're my 20-year-old home from college, but we want you here on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning or whatever it is.
Sure. And when the young adults coming home from college too of, there's friends that they haven't seen potentially.
They're going to be busy.
They're going to want to see other people who are also in town for holidays. And so like offer to host them, if that's an option, especially if there's concerns. You don't want your teen driving at night. You are worried about drinking or something like that. Then, if that's an option.
You can eliminate that by hosting it at your house. Invite your friends over.
Yep. Also, I put here like expectations for giving gifts to others. Like at what point in your family do you like take financial responsibility?
You got to pick your own gift.
Yeah. Like, hey, you need to get your sister a gift. And now it's like financially your responsibility or whatever, or working with them because we know those college students are broke. So trying to figure that out. But it might be better to figure that out before Christmas morning when you're like, oh, I thought you did. Nope, I thought you did. When you're sitting around the Christmas tree. So,
and the teens and the teens that are at home with you specifically, if you have younger kids, you might be doing the elf on the shelf or whatever it is. And maybe they need to help
with that.
Find the elf or help look for the elf overnight for you or make sure whatever they need to do for that elf. Maybe they can do that for you.
Sure. Help out.
Get them involved. And that can be a fun way to kind of bring some Christmas spirit back into those teens that might be starting to lose that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, when you have that, like the younger kids involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tips for the holidays for adults. Eggnog.
Wine.
Yes. All the things.
What's like the wassail or whatever?
Wassail. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. Spiced cider.
We do spiced cider at my house for Christmas. It's so good.
Yeah.
With a little bit of rum in there. It's so good.
Do you have a favorite holiday tradition with your family?
I think it's weird that this is like the holiday tradition, but we always do board games. Like play games a lot.
That's fun.
And it's usually
just
like
the time
Christmas.
Together. Yeah.
And we have another family that usually comes over and does it with us. That it's just fun. It's just
everyone's in town or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's, I like those things when it's just like the time together, you know. We have always done this. I believe my mom and uncle did it as kids, and then like we've always done it. We open our stockings Christmas night. So they hang there full of presents all day long.
Wow.
And actually last year it ended up not even being on Christmas because my brother and sister-in-law had 2 little babies. Now they have 2 toddlers. So it might very well be like the 26th or something because we weren't going to open stockings at, 9 p.m.
When I was a kid, the stockings were like what you could do first.
Like, I hear that
you were allowed to get into your stocking like before mom and dad in the room.
Yeah,
like,
you could run down, do your stocking, and then sometime you'll eat breakfast, then you do the tree or whatever. I've heard a lot of that.
With my kids, we had to start a tradition last year, so it's only happened once, but it will happen again, of a sleepover on Christmas Eve. With us in their room.
You're in their room.
They have a bunk bed that's got like the bunk on top and the full size and then a trundle. So there's plenty of space for the 4 of us. And the real reason we did it is because T especially would get up at 4 a.m. and go downstairs and have everything opened. And we would not even know.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we're just going to have a sleepover. And so Christmas Eve, we all sleep over in the same room.
So we know if you wake up and try to leave the room at 4 a.m.
Exactly. So, but that's a fun one. We do some other stuff, like for as far as gift giving, they get like 3 gifts on Christmas. Because for us personally, we're a Catholic household. And so we said, Jesus got 3 gifts from the wise men. So you get
3 gifts.
3 gifts on Christmas too. But then, that's like the 3 gifts of Christmas, but then you still get like from your parents or from your siblings. So we end up getting more than 3 anyway.
Sure. Or I don't know if grandparents do.
Yeah. Christmas can be so overwhelming with presents and things.
I've gotten to celebrate Hanukkah a few times when I was in Chicago. The Jewish population is larger there. Also, I had a friend and a roommate, so we made like latkes.
That's
the one
fun.
like she taught me how to. I was like baby's first Hanukkah. I was like 22 or something.
Oh my gosh!
And so it was really fun. It was really cool to get to do that, and I like to light the menorah and different things. I like learning about different traditions, like different holidays and celebrations and things too. So,
and that can be fun too to do with your older kids. I know sometimes it could get confusing with your youngers, but like just letting them research, like what is Kwanzaa?
Yeah,
what is Hanukkah? Like what are these holidays? Learn about them
and like where
and appreciate them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one that we do that I like is birthday cake. We make a birthday cake for Jesus.
For Jesus? Oh,
that's good
fun.
One.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you did that.
That's a fun one.
It is
and
fun.
then we sing happy birthday to him on his birthday.
Yeah. Do you have a nativity set in your house?
We have a couple.
Okay. Is Jesus out all season long, or does Jesus come on Christmas?
No, Jesus gets put out like on Christmas morning. Jesus is put away. And then the wise men are situated separately too.
Okay.
And so then after Christmas, the wise men start to inch closer and closer to
I like that.
And then they arrive. So they like move.
And then they arrive.
It's almost like Elf on the Shelf, but it's just the 3 wise men moving across
the table or the room.
But then we also have like a nativity that's out for them. And,
for the kids to play with.
And last year it would just always be everyone just circled around the empty manger. And like they would, leave, and I would go back and I would put the wise men far away, and I'd put the animals out in the field and the shepherds and Mary and Joseph by the empty manger. And then the next morning, everyone just piled on top of the manger. Right.
That's a book I really like. We haven't talked about books in a while.
Oh, yeah.
I love books.
Christmas books.
Christmas books. The Crippled Lamb.
Yes.
I got it for tea.
Talked about that when we did our favorite books.
Yeah, I think we did holiday book, and that's my favorite because, I got it for tea. I've gotten it for a couple of kids, and I read it. I still, at 29, read it every Christmas Eve. So that's a good one for sure. I believe that I read that one. My nephews have a Tony box, and you can like record songs or stories or whatever. And I recorded The Crippled Lamb. So
I didn't know you could record on those too. That's cool.
Yeah. So they have like me reading them that book over and over and over again. My brother loves it.
I bet he does.
On repeat. Because it stops every time you take it off. So,
Oh, and then does it like start over when you put it back on?
It's not supposed to. It's supposed to pick up where you left off, but sometimes it does start over. So it's just like me going like, hi, over and over and over again. My brother was like, I'm going to throw this thing across the room.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope in the next couple of weeks you get some rest and restorative time with friends and family before you have to maybe get back into the full swing of things and accept and embrace all of the chaos
Yes.
of kids being home.
Happy birthday, Jesus. Sorry your party's so late.